A sequel no one thought would ever happen might finally be real. After 35 years, the world's most unexpected love story could be returning. And now, rumors say Richard Gere and Julia Roberts are stepping back into the roles that changed everything. But is Pretty Woman 2 really happening? And what exactly did that first trailer reveal? Let's break down the shocking details that fans can't stop talking about. It started as a small whisper online, just a single post claiming that Netflix was working on a sequel to Pretty Woman. At first, no one believed it. After all, Hollywood has teased sequels before, only for them to disappear without a trace. But then, something unexpected happened. A short teaser began circulating across social media, showing a black screen, soft piano music, and a single line of text fading into view. Every love story deserves a second chance. That one moment sent the internet into a frenzy. Fans immediately recognized the music. It was almost identical to the theme used in the original 1990 movie. And before anyone could blink, the teaser cut to a quick flash of a familiar silhouette, Richard Gere's profile. Older, wiser, but unmistakably him. Then a second flash, Julia Roberts turning toward the camera with that iconic smile. The clip was only a few seconds long, but it was enough to start a storm of excitement and confusion. Was this fan-made? Was it a leak? Or was Netflix testing the waters before a full reveal? Within hours, movie blogs and entertainment insiders began digging for answers. Some claimed the footage came from a private test trailer. Others argued it was part of a marketing experiment to measure fan interest. But one thing became clear. The clip looked far too polished to be fake. The lighting, the editing, even the soft grain that echoed the old film style, it all felt intentional, purposeful, real. People started sharing memories of seeing Pretty Woman for the first time. Adults who grew up in the 90s said the teaser brought back a flood of nostalgia. Younger viewers wondered what made the original so special, and why the idea of a sequel mattered so much. The teaser didn't show any plot. It didn't reveal any dialogue. Yet the emotion behind those few seconds suggested something bigger was coming. And then came the biggest shock of all. A verified Netflix production account liked one of the viral reposts of the teaser. They didn't comment. They didn't confirm anything. But that single tap on the heart button was enough to convince fans that something real was happening behind the scenes. Film analysts started predicting what Netflix could be planning. Was this a soft announcement? A test trailer? Or maybe an early sign that production had already started in secret? The mystery only added more excitement. Some people even claimed they saw hidden details in the teaser, like a modern skyline, a new hotel scene, or a wedding ring on Richard Gere's hand. Whether those details were true or not, the world was talking. There's a reason the internet didn't just react to the teaser, it exploded. Pretty Woman wasn't just another romantic movie. It became a symbol of unlikely love, of second chances, and of two people from completely different worlds finding a connection that felt impossible. When it released in 1990, no one expected it to turn into a cultural phenomenon. But Richard Gere and Julia Roberts had a chemistry that couldn't be forced, copied, or replaced. Their characters, Edward and Vivian, felt real, flawed, charming, and honest in a way that made millions of people fall in love with them. For many fans, Pretty Woman wasn't just a movie. It was a moment in time. It brought laughter, comfort, and for some, even hope. Couples still watch it together. Younger generations discover it by accident and end up loving it just as much as those who saw it in theaters. It has become one of those films that never fades, no matter how many years pass. That's exactly why the idea of a sequel hits so deep. People have spent decades wondering, what happened after Edward climbed the fire escape? Did their love last? Did they face challenges together? Did that fairy tale ending survive the real world? Hollywood never answered these questions, choosing instead to keep the magic frozen in time. And maybe that's why the little teaser felt so emotional. It opened a door that had been closed for a very long time. There's also the fact that both actors moved on to completely different careers. Richard Gere became known for serious character roles. Julia Roberts became one of the most beloved actresses in Hollywood history. The thought of them returning to these characters feels almost impossible, like trying to relive a moment that can never be repeated. And yet, the teaser gave fans hope. Movies today often chase nostalgia. But Pretty Woman is different. Its legacy isn't based on effects or action. It lives because of heart, charm, and the way it brings people back to a simpler time. The idea of revisiting that world in 2025 adds a new layer, seeing Edward and Vivian older, wiser, and facing a different chapter of life. Love stories don't have to end when the credits roll. They grow, they change, and sometimes they find new meaning. That's why a sequel matters. It isn't just about revisiting a classic. It's about asking a question everyone secretly wonders. What happens after happily ever after? And if the whispers and rumored trailer are real, Netflix might be ready to answer that question in a way no one saw coming. Asterisk, the rumored sequel doesn't try to recreate the past, it builds on it. If the leaked trailer is real, the story of Pretty Woman 2 seems to explore something far more powerful than a simple reunion. The short clips show hints of a world that has changed, and characters who have changed with it. And that might be what makes the sequel feel different from anything fans expected. The first glimpse of the new story supposedly opens with an empty hotel lobby at dawn. Soft sunlight spills through the tall glass windows, and a bellhop places a single white envelope at the front desk. No music, no narration, just quiet. The camera then cuts to Edward Lewis, older and more reflective, standing in his office overlooking the city. His expression suggests something heavy is on his mind, something unresolved. On his desk lies the same white envelope, now open, with a handwritten message inside. Fans online claimed they zoomed in and could read a single line. It's been too long. That one detail sparked more theories than any official announcement ever could. Another shot features Vivian walking down a crowded street in Los Angeles. She looks confident, independent, and grounded in a life she built on her own. She's no longer the wide-eyed young woman from decades ago. She seems like someone who has lived, learned, and grown. A quick scene shows her laughing with a group of women at what looks like a charity event, hinting that she may be working to help others who once stood where she once did. The rumored storyline suggests that the sequel isn't about recreating their first love. It's about facing the life that came after. Did they stay together? Did they fall apart? Did the world pull them in different directions? The trailer doesn't answer the question directly, but it hints at a reunion that neither of them saw coming. One scene shows Edward standing outside a familiar hotel, looking up as if searching for a memory. Another shows Vivian receiving a mysterious phone call that makes her expression soften, then tighten, as if old feelings suddenly rush back. Fans notice something symbolic in the footage, the return of the iconic fire escape. The camera supposedly shows it briefly, worn with age but still standing, almost like a reminder of a moment that changed to lives forever. Whether the characters revisit it or not remains a mystery, but its presence in the trailer says everything about the emotional direction of the film. There are also whispers about new characters, perhaps a young woman Edward has taken under his wing, or someone from Vivian's past who reappears at the worst possible time. These small hints suggest the sequel won't just be about romance. It may explore grief, second chances, and the complicated ways love evolves over decades. If the trailer is any clue, Pretty Woman 2 aims to answer a question that the original never touched. What happens when two people who meant everything to each other meet again after a lifetime apart? The story seems richer, deeper, and more mature than anyone expected. That might be exactly what fans want from a sequel that arrives 35 years later. Asterisk. The strongest reaction to the leaked teaser wasn't about the story or the music, it was the faces. The moment the silhouettes of Richard Gere and Julia Roberts appeared, even for a fraction of a second, the internet stopped. It wasn't just nostalgia. It was the shock of seeing two actors who once defined an era suddenly stepping back into roles that shaped their careers. And if the new footage is real, Pretty Woman 2 isn't trying to hide its biggest surprise, it's embracing it. The rumored trailer shows Edward Lewis first, not the powerful, perfectly composed business tycoon from 1990, but a man who looks human, a little tired, a little older, someone who has carried success for years but maybe lost pieces of himself along the way. His hair is silver now, his expression softer but heavier. Fans notice that his clothing style has changed to less strict and sharp, more relaxed, almost like a man who has learned some lessons the hard way. It suggests a character who has lived a full life, but not necessarily a happy one. Then there's Vivian. Her appearance in the teaser has already become the most talked about moment online. Instead of the flashy fashion she wore in the original film, the new Vivian looks grounded and sophisticated. She wears simple jewelry, natural makeup, and a warm expression that hints at confidence built over years, not given to her by anyone else. This version of Vivian feels like someone who has earned her place in the world and is proud of who she has become. It's a powerful contrast to her past, and fans are calling it the glow-up that took 35 years. But the trailer hints at more than just the two returning icons. Quick flashes show younger actors who may represent the new generation entering their story. One moment shows a young woman in a business meeting with Edward, suggesting she may be his protege or perhaps someone whose life reflects a younger Vivian. Another shot shows a teenage boy watching Vivian speak at what looks like a charity panel. Viewers immediately began wondering if he could be connected to her in a deeper way. The supporting cast remains a mystery, but the tone of the footage suggests a blend of familiar and new energy. There's a brief scene in what looks like the lobby of the Beverly Wilshire Hotel, filled with people who immediately reminded fans of the quirky characters from the first movie. The friendly staff, the elegant guests, the comedic side figures who add charm rather than chaos. Whether these are cameos, returning roles, or fresh additions is still unclear, but their presence hints at the filmmakers wanting to respect the original world. Another important detail comes from the emotional expressions in the trailer. Neither Edward nor Vivian look shocked to see each other, they look conflicted. There's a moment where Richard Gere's eyes soften as if recognizing someone he once loved deeply, and Julia Roberts responds with a smile that doesn't hide the sadness behind it. This subtle acting has convinced fans that the sequel won't rely on cheap nostalgia. It's building emotional depth through characters who have grown, aged, and lived real lives. Netflix's involvement may also be shaping the cast choices. The platform is known for blending established stars with rising actors who bring fresh energy. If this is true for Pretty Woman 2, the story may revolve not just around Edward and Vivian's reunion, but also around the younger people whose lives intersect with theirs. In the end, the cast isn't just a list of names, it's a bridge between past and present. The original film created one of the most iconic romantic pairings ever seen on screen. If the sequel truly brings them back, it won't just be a movie release. It'll be a moment fans have waited for over 3 decades to witness. The most surprising part of this entire Whisper campaign isn't the trailer itself, it's how quietly the production seems to be moving. If the rumors are true, Netflix has been building Pretty Woman 2 in the shadows, far from the usual Hollywood noise. No flashy announcements, no red carpet reveals, not even a casual hint from the actors. It's the kind of secrecy usually seen in big superhero movies, not romantic sequels. And yet, it makes sense. A project like this needs careful hands, not hype. Sources online claim that filming might have started months ago, in a closed studio lot outside Los Angeles. The teaser's lighting and background match a controlled indoor set rather than outdoor shooting. This suggests the filmmakers are recreating iconic spaces, instead of returning to the original locations. Some believe they even rebuilt a portion of the Beverly Wilshire Hotel interior, to keep the visual style consistent with the first movie. If true, that level of detail hints at producers who understand the emotional weight carried by every scene. Another detail fans noticed involves the cinematography. The leaked footage doesn't use glossy, modern filters. Instead, it has a slightly warm tone, soft shadows, and a gentle film-like grain that echoes the 1990 aesthetic without feeling outdated. This blend of old and new gives the visuals a nostalgic heartbeat, like the film itself knows it's stepping into familiar shoes but walking into a different era. Rumors also suggest that the project is being guided by a director known for emotional storytelling rather than flashy visuals. Someone who knows how to slow a moment down and let a glance or silence speak louder than dialogue. This choice alone confirms that the sequel isn't trying to compete with modern blockbusters. It's trying to tell a story that feels honest and human. Behind the scenes, Netflix is said to be treating this film with surprising caution. Instead of the usual early previews and marketing leaks, they're testing reactions with short, quiet snippets, almost like they're studying what fans want from a movie that has lived in people's hearts for decades. This explains why the teaser appeared suddenly and without explanation. It wasn't a mistake. It was a test balloon. There's also speculation about why the sequel is surfacing now. Some believe it's because both Gere and Roberts have reached a stage in their careers where returning to beloved roles feels meaningful rather than forced. Others think Netflix saw an opportunity to revive a classic for a generation that craves heartfelt stories over fast-paced thrillers. And some simply believe that the timing feels right. The world is hungry for comfort, nostalgia, and stories about love that grows instead of fades. Production insiders have hinted that the film may explore themes of aging, regret, and emotional healing, subjects rarely shown honestly in romantic stories. If the behind-the-scenes choices are any indication, Pretty Woman 2 isn't here to repeat what fans already know. It wants to show a love story shaped by real time, real mistakes, and real second chances. Every shot, every rumor, every secret decision points to one thing: this production isn't about recreating the past. It's about honoring it. If the whispers, the teaser, and the silent confirmations are real, then Pretty Woman 2 isn't just another movie announcement. It feels more like a moment the world didn't know it needed. The original film ended with a fairy tale rescue, a climb up the fire escape, and a promise of forever. But real life doesn't freeze after one perfect kiss. Time moves. People change. Love shifts, breaks, heals, and sometimes finds its way back when no one is looking. That's what makes this sequel, if it truly arrives in 2025, so deeply meaningful. The final shots of the rumored trailer say everything without a single word. A slow camera pullback shows Edward standing alone on a balcony, watching the city lights glow beneath him. He holds something small in his hand. Fans say it looks like the necklace he once gave Vivian, worn and aged like their history. The music grows softer as the frame cuts to Vivian walking through a nighttime street market, surrounded by strangers but lost in her own thoughts. She pauses, lifts her head slightly, as if sensing someone from her past thinking of her at that exact moment. It's simple, quiet, but the emotion hits like a wave. And then comes the title card. No dramatic sound, no flashing lights, just two words, a second chance, below it. The final line fades in, coming 2025 only on Netflix. Whether this is marketing misdirection, a controlled leak, or a genuine early reveal, the effect is undeniable. Fans across generations are holding their breath, not because they want to relive the past, but because they want to see it evolve. After all, the ending of Pretty Woman wasn't about rescuing someone from a tower. It was about two people choosing each other against all odds. Now, decades later, the question changes. Can love survive everything that came after the fairy tale? A sequel like this has the power to bridge worlds. Older audiences who watched the original in theaters can reconnect with characters who grew up alongside them. Younger viewers can experience the story with fresh eyes, discovering why Edward and Vivian became one of the most unforgettable pairs in cinema. And Netflix, a platform that reaches millions instantly, might be the perfect place to bring their story back to life. The beauty of this rumored project is that it doesn't promise fireworks or a glossy Hollywood fantasy. Instead, it suggests something more real to people older now, trying to understand the paths they took and the ones they left behind. A story about timing, forgiveness, and the quiet courage it takes to open old doors again. If Pretty Woman truly arrives in 2025, it won't just be a sequel. It will be a reunion between characters, between generations, and between the past and the present. And maybe, just maybe, it will show that even after decades, love still knows how to find its way home.